Hey guys, it's Mandy. I am here to walk you through the financial goals worksheet. The idea of financial freedom is one that we're all chasing, and it's really the reason we're having this conversation, but it is super duper nebulous. With something that is so amorphic, how do you know where you're going? I firmly believe that you can't get somewhere quickly where you don't know where you're going. Even Stephen Covey said, you've got to begin with the end in mind. So if we can kind of make a more granular path for what financial freedom looks like, get a firm definition and then a granular path of what that means, and really kind of chunk it down into different milestones so that we can celebrate those milestones along the way, I think we're, far better off, far more likely to reach the destination that we want to go if we have an idea of where we're going. So this financial worksheet that I made up that I will share my screen so that we can go through this here. The financial goals worksheet that I pulled together was kind of born of an idea that I learned at a Tony Robbins seminar, this idea of financial security, vitality, independence, and so on and so forth. It made a ton of sense to me that you want to be able to have these smaller milestones as you go along. For instance, what financial security is, are you secure in your, remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Are your basic needs met? Where you live, your insurance, are you fed? Can you get where you need to go? Your very basic needs, are you providing for those with passive income? So in order to estimate those, what you'll do is you can see here that I created this to only fill in the blue. And you can tell that I kind of, in this example here, just put round numbers. It doesn't have to be perfect to the dollar. The goal of this exercise is to really kind of inform milestones that you're looking to meet so that you have a path of where you're going. So what you'll see on this worksheet here is there's my goals. This is where you're going to put in your information, and it will pre-populate this my results page. This example is what we're going to look through, and it pre-populates here. Okay, so let's go back to the example. Now we kind of understand what financial security is. Once you've achieved that, what is the next hurdle to overcome? Well, the thought there for financial vitality is, you're beyond security. You're doing more, you have more passive income coming in than is required to just cover your needs. So, you've achieved financial security plus some level, call it 50% of a few luxuries. So the examples here are 50% of your clothes that you buy a month, the dining that you do, entertainment, and like a miscellaneous type of a luxury. These are, again, not to be exact, not meant to really stress you out in terms of, oh gosh, how much does 4 manicures and a facial cost? Like, don't come on, don't worry about that. Like, this is just meant to be fun and interesting. And of the luxuries that you tend to enjoy on an average month, let's just kind of guesstimate what 50% of those are so that we have kind of a middle ground. Now, let's go into this financial independence. Well, what financial independence, what this Mint.com number is, the people that I coach, I really encourage them to use Mint.com, which is an estimator of your real-time net worth. And it also helps you see what your spending has been over time. So for instance, my personal spending is reflective of, insurance you pay, what, twice or 4 times a year. I have an au pair for my son that has one big lump sum that's due per year. So looking at just what's happening in my checking account or credit card statement every month doesn't really give me a good estimate of what my average monthly spend is. But because of Mint.com, it looks at the whole spend of the year by pulling in all of the data from my credit cards and my checking accounts and my mortgage statements and my properties and so on and so forth. to give me an average over a rolling 12 months of what my spend has been. So I think that that is a really easy peasy way to estimate what your normal spend is. So I really encourage you to, even if you're tracking it yourself on an Excel spreadsheet or something, signing up for this mint.com that's completely free, that will, you know, on an ongoing basis, sort your spend for you, really gives you a good idea of what you're looking at. For instance, one woman that I was coaching was going through this exercise, and she found something bananas, like $600 a month of things that she was paying for and didn't even need or want, and she chose to cancel them because it was drawn to her attention from having gone through this exercise. So sign up for mint.com. There's lots of really good tutorial videos if you have questions on that, but play around with it and you'll be able to get good information of where you're starting. So figure out what your average monthly spend is per month after you've completed all of that, and that's what you'll input here. So that's your financial independence. Are all of your bills covered by passive income? That's what that means to me. Also, this is that percentager thing that we talked about. What percentager are you? The numerator is how much your passive income is per month coming in, and your denominator is this number right here. So when you're figuring out your what percent of your monthly bills are covered by passive income, this is the number that I would encourage you to use as that denominator. So now on to freedom. Personally, for me, I don't want to leave my job if I'm just barely meeting my bills with passive income. So I want some level of a buffer. So I have this mint.com number that pre-populates from over here. So what I'm going to put in this buffer zone is, how sure do I want to be? How much of a risk taker do I want to be in terms of if I were to quit my job today? So if I'm a total risk taker, I would encourage you to still have a minimum of about 20% additional income coming in from your financial independence number, your monthly spend, just for some wiggle room. If you know that you're going to be doing some side work, for instance, I have a real estate license. And one of the things I'm toying with the idea of doing once I choose to leave my W-2 job is helping people buy and sell homes in the Chicagoland area. And that would bring in some level of income. So my buffer is lower. It's at the lower end of the spectrum. It's only 25% in addition to what my financial independence number is. If you are, originally, before I came up with that idea of helping people buy and sell homes and continuing my investing and taking on new folks who want to passively invest in deals, if I weren't doing those activities, I'm a single mom. So I would want to have a huge buffer. I would want to have another 100% coming in of my financial independence number in order to feel a level of comfort. So that is really just a judgment call for you. Lower end of the spectrum, the 20-ish% is for a risk taker if you have built-in other flows of income that you can depend on, or you're going to be doing a different kind of a work. And then the higher end, the 100%, if you need a heck of a lot of peace of mind and don't really have a plan for doing additional work on top of that. So this is how much, this is basically the amount that I would want to see before quitting my W-2 job. So I don't want to stop dreaming there, right? I want to, you know, I'm not a real materialistic girl, but girlfriend, homegirl wants a Range Rover, you know, like it's okay to say that, but I really think that, if I look at the path of wealthy people, the stuff, the things, they come last. You know, once I've provided financial freedom for myself and my son and my family, then I'll, you know, be willing to splurge on the stuff that's completely stupid to spend money on, depreciating assets like a Range Rover. Or you guys, there is a jet membership thing that you can do that you pay this fee and then you basically get to fly on private jets around the US and you don't have to own the flight or maintain the jet. How cool does that sound? I want to travel like a crazy person for $5,000 a month, and I want to belong to a high-end mastermind that is roughly like 200,000-ish a year. It's silly, right? So, I mean, it's not silly, it's incredible, and I'm aspiring towards it, but I want to know what I need in order to get there. So now that we've populated all of these basically dollar volumes, we're real estate investors. So what can we kind of anticipate in regard to returns? So I like to own as much of an asset as possible. So in order to have the most possible cash flow coming in. What matters to me most, more than doors, is how much cash flow I have coming in. So in order to do any type of a deal in any sort of a market, I really think you need to see at least $100 a door, maybe up to $250 in some markets. Gosh, I remember talking to somebody in New Jersey who gets like $700 cash flow a door. So I mean, it's totally deal dependent. It could be way more, but I would encourage you not to make it way less. So this number that you have created by filling in the blue blanks auto-populates here and gives you an estimate. If you get $100 cash flow per property, you need roughly 50 doors, let's say, in order to reach financial security. If you get $250 a door, then you roughly need 20 doors in order to achieve financial security, and so on and so forth. It totally estimates here for vitality, independence, freedom, and then your absolute freedom. So then if I go to my example results, which will auto-populate here in the My Results once you punch all this in, financial security for, oh, if I didn't tell you, the example is actually just my numbers. So welcome to knowing everything about me. My shoe size is 9.5 too, if you're interested in knowing all of my facts and figures. Not telling you how much I weigh. All right, so financial security, I need the 20 to 50 doors, somewhere in there. Then the next step is vitality, 25 to 60, independence, 31 to 77, so on and so forth. I really strongly encourage you to print this out, or maybe even take a screenshot of it and keep it on your phone. I print it out and I have it in my home office tacked to a corkboard where I can look at it every single day. I basically know that once I get to roughly 40 doors wholly owned, then I own my time. I no longer am a slave to exchanging my time for dollars in order to just pay my bills. I have bought my time back. So hopefully this was useful to you, and I wish you the best of luck on your journeys, and yeah, to figuring out what your financial freedom is. Make sure you post on Aspiring Women Achieving More, or on my Facebook page, Mandy McAllister RE. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. Thanks, guys.